Hello, beautiful sunshines. Welcome to Now That's Love
with your favorite mother-daughter duo, Ashlyn and
Janae, where you get to know thyself, love thyself, and be the best version of self.
Because the greatest love story you are ever going to tell is the one you create with yourself every day.
Yes.
Today we are going to be hopping all into overthinking. So we felt like codependency and overthinking can be kind of head and head at times. So we wanted to full-fledged, and I know that a couple of people have also mentioned this to me, do a podcast about overthinking. So like I said, we listen, and we're here to come and talk about overthinking.
Yes, we wanted to bring in from codependency something that even with social media, because overthinking can be charged from the hits we're getting on social media all the time, or Snapchat, or whatever it is. You know, you're on there and you're constantly getting a hit, which programs your brain to think AD, all the time. And so with codependency, but I want to give you a beautiful visual. You are at the train station and you're on the platform, and you are the observer of all these trains going by. There's one going this way and there's one going this way. And put it in the context that each of these trains going by are your thoughts. You are the observer of the trains, and you can decide if you want to be the conductor and slow it down, observe the thought, or you can just keep on letting them pass by, because the brain never, ever is going to stop with the thought process. Even if you're meditating and you're quiet and you're being still, your brain might be saying, breathe in, breathe out. You can have these bliss moments of just kind of feeling like you're in a void, but then your brain's saying, I'm in a void. I feel so blissful, I'm in a void. So it's beautiful. It's a beautiful organ that is meant to help us. But the overthinking mind is, a lot of it's programmed into thinking that we are our mind, and we're not. We are the observer. Like, who's witnessing these thoughts? For me, when I was really walking through this, I really had an incessant mind of overthinking and assuming something bad was going to happen. I needed to protect myself. I wasn't necessarily saying those words. I just felt it. So my mind just kept on popping in different things. And so I started looking at them at the time like a huge mass of balloons. So I'm popping the dang balloons. I'm popping them.
Yeah,
you are not real. You're not real.
Pop, pop.
And then you have to look at how just human nature is, that the clouds that go by, they're ever changing. So the thought process of the clouds just going by, or even just the breeze, just letting it flow by. It's like, why are we trying to control, like literally control our thoughts to stop and not be? It's more about just being the observer. It's the observer effect. You're observing, and you get to decide how you perceive or react to it. But there's this complete detachment. You don't go to a movie. Say your life is a movie, but you're going to the movie theater and it's really emotional. You might cry and we can relate to different things, but it's not that you are the person up on the screen that's making you super sad. You're not that woman. You might be able to relate. You're the observer. You're the observer of life, the movies, different things. And when you can really grasp that, this might be a real true new concept for people. But the moment I could really grasp this, there was immense peace. I'm the observer of my thoughts. Okay, well, I'm seeing that my thoughts are this way. Well, I, in this moment, am choosing this way or that way. So anyways, I'm going to turn the time over to Ashlyn, because I just wanted to do a little introduction.
Oh, I absolutely love that. It's so true. Like, the power of the mind. You create your heaven in your mind or your hell in your mind. And I would also like to add on, just from the beginning start of childhood, as we've talked about so many times, is so many things that we are walking through is stemmed from childhood. And a lot of our overthinking, anxiety, critical mind can come from our parents at a very young age. Your parents create that little inner voice in your head, and how they have talked to you and when you were a child, from just the little tot age all the way up to age 7, even in your teen years, even now. Sometimes it can be your critical voice that's in your head of overthinking, of not feeling enough. So remember that it can also stem from that at times. And it's going back to who you really are as an individual, if not what people have told you you are. That's why I even try my best not to tell my son, "You're so smart. You're so great at this," because I don't want him to identify by those things. I don't want him to think, well, my mom recognizes when I'm so smart, so I'm going to overthink every little thing I do. Or my mom and I even mentioned early, talking about this, that even just overthinking, oh my, if I take the cookie out of the cookie jar when you're little, you start overthinking as you're eating the cookie, oh my, am I going to get punished for taking this cookie? You start overthinking about all the discipline that's going to happen from it, and
Well,
come
and
from the
so all of a
situation.
sudden you've played 2 hours as a little kid.
Yeah.
Let's say you're 8 years old, you're starting to really understand that you might get in trouble because your mom said, don't have a cookie till dinner. You just couldn't wait. You had to have the cookie. And all of a sudden you hear this pounding up. You've gone up in your room and you're upstairs. And all of a sudden you hear these heavier steps coming upstairs and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm going to be ready for this conversation. I've
You make sure that
overthought the
there's no
whole thing.
chocolate on your face, no
Yeah.
crumbs on your bed.
I know exactly what I'm going to say to my mom. She's not going to know. Or, and you can see how it's just incessantly like, or our friends, say that out of the blue, you're in 4th grade and a girl comes up to you and accuses you of something. And then you're so caught off guard that you say whatever comes out of your mouth. Yeah, you're 4th grade, And then she walks away and now you're even in more trouble because of what you said. And you walk away and now you're thinking, oh, I wish I would have said this. I wish I would have
Yeah.
said that. As I
No,
should have
you're
said
in
it.
even as an adult, I'm like in the shower, and if someone says something to me, and I'll sometimes even think, oh my gosh, like, should I have said this? Should I have done this? It's like the
The
overthinking brain of
overthinking
after you leave
mind.
the situation.
Right. And then you become the planner. Now you're going to control the situation. So you're going to plan it in advance. If this goes down when I go to school, or if this goes down when I go to work, I've already made up 3 different scenarios, and you might stay up all night thinking about exactly what's going to happen. Even if it's like overthinking mind that you're going to go for a job interview, or
Yeah.
a new program that you've got to go release, or you're talking in front of people, you literally will give yourself panic attack, anxiety, and
So
this
true. IBS.
overthinking. Worst case scenario. And you're literally putting the visual of like a
Oh my
train
gosh,
track,
it
two
was the
trains coming
greatest
crashing.
thing. Because whenever I walked for graduation, what was everybody's on their mind? Oh my gosh, I'm going to trip on
Don't trip.
stage. That was their thing. No one tripped out of all these people. I think there was over 300 people that
And
graduated,
why
maybe
do we
more.
go there? Why do we even go there?
No
Every
one
single
even,
person goes there, right?
yeah, everyone was overthinking that they were going to trip. No one tripped. So we were all, as we walked the stage, we all took a deep breath sitting down, like, whew, it wasn't me, And
Well, and
let's be
right.
honest, like 90, probably 100% of the time, but 99% of the time, what you've been overthinking about is not even gonna freaking happen. You're
Right.
not gonna like vomit on your boss as you're
Right.
going in for that interview.
And if you come from a parent that's really an overthinker or very worried all the time, a lot of times it stems from something traumatic that's happened in their life. Um, I've also worked with people that same situation where they were living life great, and all of a sudden, boom, that dad died, and then mom died 2 months later, car crash,
Yeah.
cancer, and now I've lost control. So now I'm going to overthink any kind of scenario that could happen to my family because I just literally had 2 out of the blue be taken away from me.
Yeah.
And so,
It's like that protectiveness that you're trying to
right,
now control everything around you.
right.
Like in a way, trying to prove yourself right. Well, see, since this
Well,
happened
your brain's
then,
always trying to
it's
prove
gonna
itself right.
happen again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you're literally creating the scenarios in a way with your energy from your body and your mind. You're creating the visuals. And so now, if you keep on thinking about it, they're going to show up because your reticular activating system is going to be there. Yep, that's true. It definitely went down like that. Some sort of thing. But I'm thinking with a mom or a dad that's worried a lot. I just started to bring that, and then something else downloaded on me. But um, it can become a child too that starts to worry a lot about things. So for instance, my mother, pregnant with me and my twin brother, uh, he was born, and 3 months later, like, he's just a little baby, and his
Yeah.
kidney was this big on the side of his little cute, sweet little body when they took it out with cancer. Here she had 6 children, and she literally, like, you know, now what can I control? What can I worry about beforehand so then I can be prepared? Because it took her off guard, completely off guard. It was huge. It was back in the day when chemotherapy was just coming out. A lot of people, a lot of kiddos didn't make it. And he did. He's still here. I'm so grateful. But I've put myself in my mom's shoes and the worry that she went through. And it shifted a lot in her personality. Like, now I need to be aware of the showing up. I was raised by that. And then I had to break that
and a
as
lot of times
myself
even
because I used
stuff
to
like
wear
that it can lead to OCD. And like I've
Yes.
mentioned in the previous podcast,
Trying to control.
anxiety and kind of trying to control everything around you, it can, your mind, like, you know, your mind is so powerful. And I had my friend that had OCD as well, and it's these things that your brain's trying to solve and figure out. It can literally become a compulsive disorder where you're just constantly
Right.
in like a habit of something.
So one of the things that we've recognized and we've noticed is that, what are you getting distracted by during your day? Just take one day. Are you constantly hopping on your apps? Are you constantly just letting yourself be directed so many different
It's so easy to
ways?
try to become numb. It's
Yeah,
like it's
to
you're
numb
trying to
out.
numb
You
yourself
grab your
out.
phone, right? You grab your phone and you have 5 apps you're going to go check out. There is a dopamine hit. It's real. It's you're getting this hit, and sometimes it's like now it's going to go downhill because whatever you popped up really, you know, took you from this way or that way. But it's
I think at that point it's like you need to, if it becomes a habit, we've mentioned setting a timer, or even just, I think stepping out in nature is like the main thing I do.
yeah.
This can reduce stress, anxiety, depression, part of your day. Just, I think they're starting to even come out with more and more studies of how crazy it can be. And social media, I think the main thing of, we're not trying to bring this dark light to social media, because there's so many amazing things. Like our at Now That's Love is such a loving community, but I think there's a limit. There's like that fine line between, I even noticed with myself where I was part of all these great communities on my social media, and then all of a sudden I'd go to like my timeline or my feed or whatever it's, I forgot necessarily what it's called, but I'd go to that and I'm like, oh, there's a cute puppy. Oh, that's cute. And then all of a sudden it kind of started getting into lack phase of, oh, that relationship's cool. Oh, that vacation looks nice. And then you just kind of feel like you're lacking in some
It's
way. And
so
you start
crazy.
overthinking, you know, there's the overthinking brain.
So there's a couple benefits, things you can do that I did and I've told clients about. But if you take your phone and just put it away, like say a Saturday, you just decided to give your mind that break, that you're having it remember, like this is okay to do this and I'm not addicted to it. Another way, because it causes overthinking. Another way is to take your apps that they're so easy, your front page that you can just pop into, take them and scroll them to a couple pages back.
Yeah.
So it takes you a
I
minute. You have
deleted
to
my
think about it.
Facebook app
We
because
did
then I'm
for a
not
minute.
clicking on it.
Yeah. Yes.
I think there's some other things too that you can do as well, just to shut off your brain. Go into like a calming state of meditation or yoga. We're going to start, I'm so excited to finally announce this, but we're going to start having our meditation videos on YouTube and Spotify. And we might even show a little video on our Now That's Love page on Instagram.
Yeah.
But we're going to start bringing those forward just to breathe and be in the moment. Because like we've told you, like said so many times, there's so many benefits when it comes to just being still and going through that. So pop in for those. We're going to be announcing that a little bit later. So follow Now That's Love for more information. But going out and being still, I think journaling, you know, are we just going to say this on every podcast? Yes, we will.
Meditation, journaling, nature.
It's helped us so much. And like, we're here to love on you guys and just give you like all the little hints that we wish we had 5 years ago. Gosh. But I have my morning journal right here, and I created this one. This one's on Professor Mother, and Now That's Love on my bio. But this journal was a lifesaver for me. During college especially, or just, writing down my task of what I need to do now that I'm about to be a mom of two, oh my gosh, like I'm definitely going to be needing to write down my task. And in the morning, it's just like this brain dump of being able to write down like your list of what you need to do and have your mind focused, just day by day. It's not like you're writing your whole month out. It's just day by day, and being focused, and consistency is the key to success. So I have my awesome little, author's note in there. So it has my cute little butterfly, because, butterflies are the flow of life. And just every day, it's so simple, like just one page, everybody, just one simple page. That's all you need a day. And you just put the date, your affirmation for the day. I'm loving myself a little bit more, whatever your affirmation is. 3 things you're grateful for, and today's goals. And I just wrote 3 goals down. So whenever I was in school, I was like, okay, today I'm going to finish this discussion board. And then afterwards, I'm going to start writing my paper. And then sometimes the goal of the day was to simply just enjoy living in the moment with Malay, or going out for the day. And then I have a little half a page just for journaling your thoughts, your feelings, being in that moment of jotting down your overthinking brain of what's on your mind. So go check this out. And I would love to hear how it's benefited you in your life, because every morning it's just, then you're not going throughout your day and you're not thinking, oh my gosh, I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do this. It's just, I know that if I go back to my journal, it's there.
Right. That's why we did this. And we just were inspired to do these.
The brain dump journal is so amazing. I love this journal too.
People have been asking us for like the prompts, the ideas, what has helped us through journaling. And so we went and created our own journals, and we have several that you can choose from. And there's some episodes we'll be talking about that. There's very specific journals for specific things that can walk through and do a shift in your life. So, but the brain dump, getting this overthinking mind, like that's a really good thing to just write down everything that's just powering into your brain. There is a release of just, okay, it's on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And
no worries.
Right. Now I can see things clearly. There were times several times I'd write down what I was feeling. I used to literally a long time ago feel guilty about writing anything really negative. I should just always be positive. So I write down like, oh my gosh, right now, all these different things.
Yeah.
And then I would say, thank you for showing me the truth. Like really, what is my spirit? What is my connection with the divine? What is the truth of this whole situation? Those were some of the most beautiful things I would scribe after. I'm like, oh my goodness, really, truly. Our brains are so programmed for problem solving. Our brains are so programmed for assumption land. We need to just be aware and start to.
Whenever you start overthinking, are you assuming? Are you trying to problem solve something? If you cannot solve it in 5 minutes? I think that Grandpa said that, let it go, or
because otherwise you're trying to control other individuals. Otherwise, you're really truly are trying to say, I have power over other individuals. So if you needed, if it's bothering you, contact that individual. If you're unable to contact the individual, write it down and say, where do I need to go with this? Because once you train your mind to do that and you do more of it, it becomes really very flowy. You just have to start doing it, because if you don't take the action to start doing this, you won't know what we're talking about if you haven't done it before. But you really will train your brain to have things become very insignificant. It's not that big of a deal, because
it's so
true. The overthinking mind will go from, it's been trained in the system to do one problem after the next problem. So you think, oh, well, I need to fix this thing with this person, this relationship, or something's going on here, and then you're going to now Sally, and then you're going over to Jack, and your brain's constantly like, well, let's just make everything like utopia,
Yeah, it's like
It's
let go of the
exhausting.
overthinking, because how, like, first of all, how you allow others to treat you is a reflection of yourself, but also how others treat you is, it's just the perspective of their life and how they perceive you as well.
Right.
So whenever you're overthinking, oh my gosh, does this person like me? It's like you said, it's just, it's sometimes it's easier said than done by just, let it go, stop overthinking. But it's whenever you start realizing that, I think that helped me stop my overthinking of, I'm trying my best every single day. And when I was thinking, okay, at least I'm trying my best every day, it helped me stop overthinking so much on my relationships of, like we mentioned with codependency, not feeling like enough. It was just, okay, this is how they perceive the situation. There's nothing I can do about it. So there's no need for me to overthink any further on controlling this relationship that I'm in, because
It's down to that
people are
control.
going to think what they want to think. I can't control like what
Well,
anyone thinks. I can just control me.
the thought that we ever thought we could,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we'll have beautiful people, the insights, and we take in wisdom and we let our spirits know. But the thought that I've ever thought that I needed to even change someone's opinion, like, yeah, if their opinion can change, they're asking me questions, that's great, but it's different.
Yeah.
That
You are exactly where you need to be. So it's just acknowledge that, I think. I also like to add on something else you can do to help with your overthinking brain is finding a hobby. And I realized that especially when I was in high school, I didn't have a hobby. So what was I doing? Overthinking and hanging out with the wrong people. That's what I was doing. I didn't have a hobby. I didn't have anything that was positively impacting me. So I think it's actually really cute, because whenever my mom came home, sometimes I'd just be making muffins. And I still do it to this day with Jerome. Whenever my brain is just kind of overthinking, I go to baking or cooking. That's like my thing. And Jerome's like, he doesn't complain because he comes home to a fat lasagna and some sugar cookies. He's like, "Oh, you've been overthinking today? Oh no, what a shame." But it helps me slow my brain down, like just to focus on the recipe and what's going into it. Even just I go outside and I hang out with Malay, and just living in the moment with him, it slows me down. Living from a toddler's perspective, I'm like, man, this kid has no worries. He's not overthinking about what Sally thought about him at the park, or he's not overthinking about, oh, he has a doctor's appointment tomorrow. How's it going to go? Like, he's not worried about those things. He's living in the moment. And my mom, whenever she would come home, whenever I was in high school, I'd be just baking muffins, and mom's like, I had 4 different kinds
who
of
are you gonna
muffins
give
out.
these to?
She's like, who's gonna
Our
eat them?
neighbors loved us. Your whole entire school lunchroom. Just kidding.
I know, right? I'm like, here's some muffins, everybody. But I think at that point, you even realized, like, oh, like,
It was a
she could be doing, first
healthy.
of all, so much
Yeah,
worse. But I
it
was
was
just
healthy.
helping my brain just calm
Hmm.
down. So find a hobby, whether it's like going outside and doing a sport, or joining a club, being part, like, even with, I go to the library. There are so many clubs at the library you can join. At my library, there's like a genealogy club, there's a book club, obviously, I mean, it's a library, but there's so many things that you can join and be a part of, that, it's beautiful being part of a community. That you being part of our community, it will help slow your brain down of not overthinking as much, just by being surrounded by love, and being in a healthy environment can really slow down your brain and think positively. Not even slow down your brain, because we're not like trying to make you go out here going, ugh. But just taking every enjoyment throughout your day and realizing that it's such a blessing just to be here. There's no point in overthinking every little step. And I know that, like we've mentioned, it's a protective thing that we do at times, where we feel like something bad's going to happen if we don't necessarily take full charge or overthink. And I think sometimes, even just as parents, Jerome and I have talked about this, where we feel like sometimes the need to overthink, especially with our kids, to be protective. If I'm not overthinking at the park right now, and he's gonna jump off the ledge of the playground, or oh my gosh, a giant geese is gonna swap in and scoop him up. So you feel like you need to be overthinking, but it doesn't benefit anything. Like I said, most of the time your overthinking brain is actually pretty funny. I laugh at my brain sometimes. I honestly do. My brain will, especially whenever Malay was a little newborn, my brain would overthink so crazily. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I fall down the stairs, what if I drop him? I think that's part of being anxious as a mom as well, like, postpartum anxiety and everything. And it's just like these intrusive thoughts that kick in. But sometimes you just need to laugh at yourself and be like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, Ashlyn, you're so funny. Janae, you're so funny. Like, oh, there you go with those
I
little
do
cute
that.
thoughts again. All the
Oh,
time
that's
we
so
laugh at
funny.
ourselves.
I know. Well, and our brains are there to be our helpmate. So
Mm-hmm.
not beating ourselves up in the
Yeah.
process of breaking this down is just being the witness and the aware of
It's
like, well,
just being
that is,
mindful and, yeah,
yeah.
self-aware. You're right.
I can see my mind was all over about 20 things in about 1 minute. That was pretty awesome. I'm just kidding. Multitask. No, that's why writing down, we've talked about it, but it's it's it's
You
just
can
a
start to live your life when you stop overthinking as much. And it's like we've been trained to overthink to protect ourselves or be cautious, or, like everything will fall apart if I don't overthink or solve this problem. But in all reality, your life will really begin when your overthinking brain can just be settled. And just remember that your life is already together. Like, I know in the moment, I don't know what you're going through in this moment, but you can eat right now. You can sleep right now. You can, breathe. There's light, there's dark, there's everything you need, is around you. And just accept where you are in this very moment and just breathe that in where you are. It's, we talk about like in meditation where it's just take that deep breath. So we're just going to go, just accept this very moment where you're at. Whether you feel like you are in the most distressed place right now, whether you're feeling really happy right now, wherever you're at. And then from there, you can actually take steps forward from where you need to go. And it's not coming from a critical brain, an overthinking brain, an anxiety brain. You're coming from more of a logical brain of taking on life in a pleasurable way. You're not taking on life with just so much depression and stress. It's really beautiful when you can accept where you're at. And whenever I was able to do that, there's moments where I've not been happy. There's moments where I wanted to freaking escape from where I'm at. And whenever I just said, hey, like, this is where I'm at, like, my child's going through this, my family member just passed away, like, oh, I just feel so, like, so much on my heart. It's just realizing where you're at and accepting it. It's just so powerful. It's not trying to take control. It's letting life be life and knowing that there's so many circumstances in your life that you can't control right now. And it can be really hard to not know where, like, you're supposed to go, but just know that you are where you're supposed to be, and that the higher power is going to guide you. Just listen to your intuition, listen to the stillness. Don't let your brain take control of where you need to go, because intuitively it's in you. And I just feel so passionate about that because I used to constantly, there's moments in my life, like I said, I still laugh at it, but where I overthink, and it was taking obsessive control of my life, of how people thought about me, where I needed to go. And when you just let go and accept, it's beautiful. You get to live in the moment and appreciate everything around you, like we mentioned in our gratitude. It's a beautiful thing to be able to move forward and go where you need to go. we're here, like we mentioned, we've been through so much of this. We're not talking to you guys from, not a place we've been. We've been not able to have boundaries. We've had moments where we didn't even understand what our brains could control or handle, and it's we just saw so much around us, and we were like, here, like, we need to be here for y'all. And thank you guys just so much, from like the gratitude of my heart, like, thank you guys for being here with us and sharing this with us. And if you are in the state of mind, we're here for y'all. Like, this is why we're creating this. We're not creating this just to
be seen.
To be seen. We're here for y'all. Like, we really come from the depths of our hearts to, we're here to help you guys. That's why we create the journals and the merchandise, to remember, like, you are love, love yourself so deeply. It's a beautiful journey that we're walking on. And the sooner that you're able to take these steps that we're mentioning, oh man, oh gosh, it's like, we just see how beautiful our life has been impacted, and it will impact you so greatly. And I hope that you guys take all this in and comment and follow and subscribe.
Well, gosh, something's coming to me through everything you just said. And you talked about cooking and getting out in nature. I want to teach something that's coming down to me right now. Yeah. In the very moment, we're living in the present moment. I remember, and I still do it to this day, and it just came to me to teach this. So you're overthinking, maybe you're anxious, but you're bouncing everywhere. Just take your fingers together and know that everything's going to be okay.
Your pointer and thumb for people that can't watch.
Yeah, I just used to look at this and think that it was the G and the okay. So I am connected to source energy. I'm connected to the divine God. I am okay in this present moment. You're teaching your mind to go ahead and stop in that moment, that you're present. I still do this to this day, and I take a breath with it. So as you were talking, I was sitting here taking deep breaths and putting my fingers together and teaching right now that you can understand that, say you're even laying in bed, just put your fingers together and everything is going to be okay. And we say Sat Nam, which means I'm already enough, everything's within. So everything's already that I need is within me right now, for answers, for calmness, for love. It's already within. So as you lay your head on the pillow and maybe you're overthinking, say the words Sat Nam, Sat Nam. And with the breath in, Sat, and out, Nam. Notice where your breath is at. A lot of times when I'm in that state, I'll find that my breaths are very short and I'm going Sat Nam, Sat Nam. Want to bring it in.
I know that whenever we're overthinking at night, that's what we do.
It literally puts Ashlyn and I to sleep. And to take it a little bit further, if you're in a dark place right now or you're really struggling, visualize a beautiful place, maybe some place that you've gone before, a park, a lake, a mountain, some scenic place. You're in a cabin right now. Mine used to be that there was a cabin up in the mountains and it had a pond next to it. And I'd walk out of the cabin and I'd put myself in an inner tube. And the sun was kind of coming down gently with all these beautiful pine trees. I could smell the pine and the birds chirping. And I would start to say Sat Nam. Before you know it, I was taking myself into a beautiful dream that was up in the mountains. I would go to meadows at times when I was going through different things. I would also place myself in a meadow to calm my heart rate down and to go to sleep. But the Sat Nam with the breath, just see if you can take the Sat and the Nam a little bit longer. And before you know it, it's like counting sheep. You're putting yourself to sleep. And you start to have amazing dreams. You decide the creation of what the movie reel you're going out when you lay your head down. If you're worried about different things, the restful sleep won't be there. And you might even find yourself waking up in the middle of the night with that instantly at your door. So create an imaginary place, even you can do that. maybe say that you're worried about money right now. Go to sleep, lay your head down, and think, wow, I cannot believe all this money appeared in my bank. It was from something, and start to create a movie reel. Wow, this person came like from my great grandma, and it was an inheritance that came. I got the check in the mail. Whatever you want to do that's going to bring yourself into a calm state, and then take your dream into that. Your health,
or even a
visualize
job that
yourself
you're
health.
wanting.
Yeah.
You can just envision like
Just
a
before you go to
dream job that you're
sleep.
wanting. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So this is a good reason why you listen till the end, because sometimes our downloads come in that just, I know that
Yeah.
Ash and I are both sitting here, and I would say that yes, it's Ashlyn and I, but there's so often when we're doing this podcast that our, I would say that my spirit, my higher self just decides this is what's going to be said, and using my voice piece. So I would be humbly say that I don't. Sorry. I'm
taking some deep breaths with you right now.
I am so grateful for all that Ashlyn and I have been shown, to be able to have this heart space that we know we're supposed to be here. And I'm beyond grateful for how both of our spirits know that we surrender. We surrender to our spirits to show up here and
Making me cry.
and have our voices, use our voices as a mouthpiece to help heal this world and bring peace. And know that you're enough right now. That is our message, to help you know yourself. Know yourself more. Love yourself more. And to be your very best self is so on our hearts, but it comes from our spirits. And
we've walked such similar paths. That's why we're here. It was like undeniable for
very
us.
Very dark, a lot of darkness, a lot of suffering. And we didn't understand the power of the mind. We didn't understand that we're the witnesses of everything. And that's why we wanted to share this with you, because we did have massively the overthinking mind. And I did have to learn. My spirit showed me the train tracks. My spirit showed me the balloons. My spirit showed me so many different things of like helping me heal my mind. And because I took action on it, and I was told that I was supposed to share this with the world. And Ashlyn, she has downloads too that are so beautiful when she shares them with me, and we're sharing them here.
And
and
it's
so
sometimes
many more.
insane because we get the same downloads.
It's so
we
crazy.
Come together, and we're just wow. So whenever I say like we're your favorite mother-daughter duo, it's not because necessarily we're your favorite mother-daughter duo. It's just we know that she came before me to experience different things, and I came after her, and she helped guide me. But even though she experienced certain things, like there was moments where I had to walk my own walk, and she was just like, okay, like, I'm not going to say allow me to do it, but she was there and was like, it's okay, go ahead, do it. And we ended up coming together on so many circumstances and saying, oh my gosh, we're both walking the same walk. That even if it, sometimes it was her, I was a little bit ahead and she was a little bit behind on learning that, or she was ahead and she's like, hey, Ashlyn, guess what? You need to read this, or you need to do this. And it's like, wow, it was just like this constant support. And we ended up stepping back and thinking, wow, we are so blessed to have each other. And not everybody has this community that my mom and I's bond that we've shared. And we felt like it was so special that we had all these coincidences and natural things happen in our life's journey, and that's why we're here. We're here to build that community with y'all
Love you
and make you
guys.
guys feel the love that we have for each other and put that out there for y'all to feel. Because I feel so blessed. I'm grateful every single day I get to be here with you guys. And also I get to do this with my mom because the connection that we share, it's very special. And I'm so blessed that I've had the mom I've had. And I understand so many of y'all out there. I've heard stories from my friends or even just our community about their experiences with their mom. And throughout my life, I've always been told, you're so lucky to have the mom that you have. And I didn't realize probably until my 20s. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're right. Like, I am so like lucky and so blessed because she's walked a similar walk. She wasn't looking at me like, well, Ashlyn, what are you doing on that? She's like, oh, I've walked through this. Here, let me go and show you a thing or two. And we were there to communicate with each other and be there for each other. And it's very special. I'm glad that I've had somebody there through everything in my life. Literally, like from the beginning of coming out of the womb through everything. She's been there my whole life. So when I say that, I'm not exaggerating. But she's been there for everything. And that's why we're here. It's the deep love between mother and daughter, but also just sharing our love, putting it out there, like I've mentioned, but also showing y'all that the love that we've had for each other, we've been able to gain that for ourselves. And y'all can have that for yourself as well.
Yes.
It's so powerful. It's so powerful.
So freeing. It's so peaceful. And it's a walk, it's a journey. There's no destination. But you just learn that it's so much easier. Like you're very much more aware of, I recognize I just was doing this. Like we said, the overthinking that just came to me that everything's okay. Everything's okay. Put your fingers together in that symbol of okay. Because, even the O for overthinking,
right?
Everything is okay. Just put it there and stop and be present in that moment. And
it's like obsessive
take that
overthinking.
There's just different levels of our brain, and the beta brain is the overthinking brain. And so it literally, think of all the little beta fish, and you're not the beta fish. You aren't. You're not all those thoughts. It's just, there are a whole bunch of little beta fish. There's so many thoughts that go in our mind, or things that we witness that only our mind can take on so much. You just get to be the witness of it. And I hope that if you don't exactly understand this, comment down below. Or if you do understand this, we'd love to hear your perspective and like what maybe you use as a visual for how you've helped. Yeah, how has it helped you with the overthinking mind? Just being part of this community. Ashlyn and I have so much love from our hearts. We know that there's a golden heartstring that's on our hearts. It's attaching to this entire universe. And
as you can see, we're so emotional.
We're so emotional today. Really, we've had so many downloads.
So many downloads that just to give
week
y'all.
Has been a very spiritual week.
I really hope, because we are all one. We really are. You're not. No one's superior insuperior than anybody. So it's just, we are all one. We are all whole. You are whole. I'm whole. And if this resonates with you at all, if this is something that you're like, Janae and Ashlyn, this is something I needed, please comment, because you have no idea how much
it's so
things like
to hear from you guys.
Things we literally are like jumping through the air. Like we are I can't. I'm so glad this touched somebody, because that's how we get know. These. It's not us, because it's our divine energy, our intuition that is bringing us forward to y'all. Trust me, like right now I'm like, there's so many things that could be holding us back from doing this, and it's just at this point our spirit's like, get out there, girls. Like you need to share this. So we want to make sure that this is touching y'all, and anything that you guys need, we're here to support y'all in so many ways. And I'm blessed. I feel really grateful.
Yeah, just with this will be number 15. We have a lot of feedback with people just in our everyday life that are listening, and we really truly want you to know that we appreciate that, because you're like, this episode, I'd love to hear more about this, and that's why this will be our second one on overthinking mind, because it just has become part of our society, hasn't it? And learning how to slow it down, knowing that we're not going to completely shut it off and
Everybody is
control, but
always in a
slow it down.
rush day to day.
Right.
There's so much to do, so much to do. It's all about like, and I've seen this so much with like men. You know, it's so much pressure on men to provide, to make money, to go work all the time. And as a woman, it also like to, you know, there's so many choices between being a stay-at-home mom if you end up being a mom, or working, you know, all these things. And it's, you're not a workhorse. I want everyone to remember that it's good to take time for yourself to breathe, enjoy life. And I know that there's so many things out there in the world that can overcome, you know, that with just the thoughts of money or providing or where you're at right now, even just with yourself or with others, it can take an overload on your brain. And even if you're in that state, just after this video, I need everyone to take just 5 minutes to just meditate, breathe, give yourself some time, journal. Like, I don't care, whatever you're doing today, just today, do not procrastinate on this. This is your one simple step that, you know, if you're not doing anything else, just take 5 minutes today and breathe and say, you know,
go in the mirror and say, I love you so much. I love you so much. Oh my gosh, I'm showing up for you. This is the shifter of my life, you know, whatever you want to say.
Give yourself 5 minutes today of just self-love. That's what you need to do.
Yep. Lots of love to you all. Yeah. So much love from our house to your house. Big snuggle hugs.
Yes.
Bye.